I hope you guys are all having a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching this session. And if you guys enjoy this session, like, share, comment, subscribe. You can also donate through my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list, which are all in the description box below. Or if you guys have any kind of natural healing products or anything like that that you would like me to try out and promote on my channel, I can do that as well. And so let's get started with today's message. Hi, Rashima. So, getting into alignment is going to be very important for you right now. If you are not currently feeling like you're completely aligned and you're feeling like something is off in your life, then that is something within you that is going on. When there's external circumstances going on and they're affecting you very deeply, that means that it's time to look within. When you are in alignment, you will feel confident and strong. You'll feel solid in your decisions and your choices. You won't feel shame, guilt, or despair over the decisions that you're making that reflect your wants and desires, your needs. You'll also be feeling very optimistic and hopeful, very joyous about present life and what's going on. You'll have a lot of gratitude inside of you as well. Aw, thank you, Rashima. Hi, artsy girl. You'll really feel like you can open your heart to be equally giving and receiving of love and generosity, of kindness, of beauty. You won't feel like you're alone in a cold, cruel, awful world. And you also won't feel like you have to hold back your energy from every person because it's going to get used and abused. Because you'll have solid, stable boundaries. And you will be able to express yourself with truth and clarity as well. You'll be able to communicate effectively and efficiently in a very balanced way. You'll really be listening to the signs, the synchronicities, the messages. You'll really be hearing things very loud and clear in a very solid way that really confirms the beliefs that you have. And you'll also be feeling very connected to the multitudes through energy as well. You'll really be feeling very connected to your guides, your angels, your ancestors, your gods or goddesses or whatever it is that you pray to. You'll be feeling very connected, very guided. You'll feel very solid in your approach and you won't feel any kind of shame for believing in what you believe or expressing it. You also won't feel any judgment for the beliefs of others or them expressing it. You won't be trying to stop others from expressing and you won't be stopping yourself from expressing. You have dealt with many callous and careless people. Take your power back. They are a distraction from your path and your purpose. You feed them with your energy. When your focus is on them, your vibes are lowered because of them. When you're stuck and mired in hate, bitterness, pain, despair, if you're constantly obsessing over or thinking about the people who did you wrong, if you're constantly wondering how come they were able to do this and nothing bad ever happens to them, if you're constantly focused on the things they did and how it affected you, then you are not in the right vibrations. You are in a vibration that is lower than where you need to be to live a happy and fulfilled life. When you're in a higher vibration, you're focused more on gratitude, on clarity, on truth. And you really are leaving those feelings behind in favor of love, joy, peace, hope, harmony. Harmony within yourself also creates harmony in your world around you as well. And when you're feeding your energy to others in those lower vibrational ways, it takes that energy from you. When you're feeling like a victim, instead of feeling like, hey, I could put my boundaries up at any time and I can choose to walk away from these situations at any time. I didn't have to give my time and my energy to this person, but I did choose to. And I chose to for a reason. What lesson can I learn from this situation that I decided to dedicate my time and my attention to? Instead of, why did this situation have to go so horribly wrong? And why does everything go so horribly wrong in my life all the time? And why is everything against me? And why is everyone against me? And why does everybody do me dirty? Instead of those thoughts, it's, hey, I went into this situation. There's something that I can learn from this situation. I can also choose to walk away from this situation at any time I want to. And that's how you take your power back, and that you realize that you do have more control over your life than people lead you to believe. You don't have control over the external circumstances or the people around you, but you do have control over your own actions, your own emotional responses, the way that you allow yourself to live or behave, or the things that you do. Hi, Eliza. Nice to see you again. I saw that you deleted the sentence and then you re-put it, and I was like, wait a second, didn't she delete that? And then I just saw the deleted the sentence part. You're very welcome, love. Thank you for being here as well, and thank you for your steady, solid support on a regular basis. Especially considering the differences in beliefs that we have, because not everybody is so accepting of that. Awakening. We all have differences. It's plain to see. Wow, did that come out at the perfect timing or what? We all have differences. It's plain to see. We all have differences, even me. Love yourself every day. Love yourself in every way. Spread that love for others to see. This is what will set you free. Live in love, live in light. Everything will be all right. Try to see things from their side. It will help the fears to subside. Push past fear, ego, and pride, and then comes the part where you truly confide. Have faith, trust, and belief. Don't let fear be your thief. So, and just because you understand things from other people's side, that doesn't mean that you're giving them your power. That doesn't mean you're allowing them to abuse you. Just because you forgive people, just because you let go of circumstances and situations, that doesn't mean you allow people to abuse you. Just because you have love for all life does not mean you allow people to abuse you. Having love means you have self-love as well. It means you have boundaries. It means that you treat yourself good and you expect people to treat you in a certain way. Otherwise, you can walk away from them and you can cut them off, and you can love them from a distance just the same. You don't have to hate them because you cut them off. You don't have to hate them because they forced your hand in this. You don't have to hate them or feel guilty or feel regretful or feel like you're rejected in some way. None of that goes hand in hand with love. What love is more beautiful. It's a more uplifting, positive, joyful expression. It's knowing that even though this person's not a perfect person, and even though they didn't treat me right, buried underneath this hate or this resentment or this bitterness or this pain is that emotion of love, which is why I wanted them in my life to begin with. But I didn't need them in my life. I wanted them in my life. And when they chose to treat me in a certain way that was not loving me, I chose to move away from that energy, because I would like somebody to love me the way that I give out love. And I'm going to continue giving out love regardless of whether or not it has led me into some sticky situations, because that's who I am, and I accept who I am. Who I am is a being of love, and what I do is love, not hate. Hold your dreams. And I'm not saying there's not a place for anger, or there's not a place for hate, or there's not a place for hurt. There is. Accepting those feelings, working through them, and healing them is very important. Not denying them, but also not choosing to live mired in them, but choosing to heal them and work towards being your true self again. Because we get thrown out of alignment and off our truest path, and then we find our way back to it. And we learn a lot of lessons along that journey. Heed your dreams. See the signs. Love that you are different. Once again, with the differences are really being very highlighted here. You have a lot of beautiful things about you, a lot of differences that really make you shine, that really make you glow. Thank you, Eliza. I really do appreciate you guys being here as well. You are very different. You're very amazing because of those differences. The things that you have inside of you are important things to this world. The things that you believe in are important aspects. The opinions that you have, the thoughts that you have, the signs that you're receiving, the dreams that you hold inside are there for a reason. All of the things that you feel like you should be doing, the things that you want to do, the things that bring you passion and inspiration, the things that make you glow and shine inside. Don't allow fear to keep you from going after those things. Don't allow fear to keep you from being honest. Don't allow fear to hold you in the past and the hurt and trauma that you went through before, and start projecting that onto the new people that come into your life. Because when you're stuck in that hate energy, when you're stuck in that bitterness or resentment energy, then when somebody new comes into your life, you can't even see the blessing right in front of you because you're too afraid that they're going to do the same things to you that the last person did. And you end up ruining beautiful connections because of it. Of course, nothing that's meant for you can ever truly be destroyed. But at the same time, it can be a lot easier and a lot less complicated if we choose to let go of those things. If we choose to learn how to open up slow and steady. Not throw ourselves into a situation where we're complete strangers with somebody, but we're trying to force each other to love each other without even knowing each other. Or where you're binding somebody to you because you did something for them. But choosing to do something with no expectation of a return and going about your life and allowing things to just unfold naturally, peacefully, calmly, and not trying to control them or steer the path that they go down or the direction that they go down. Just being authentic and true to yourself. Still living your own life, but interacting with the world around you. I am really loving the new tarot cards I got. Somebody named Roberto from Phoenix sent me this deck. I just got it yesterday, and it was pretty much brand new. I'm assuming it was one that he just lightly used and was like, I'm not using these. I should give them to somebody who would use them. That's kind of my assumption. But they're absolutely beautiful, and I love them. These ones were given to me by somebody who expected me to be their friend simply because they bought these for me, and that kind of took the joy away from them, but I still do absolutely love them. And I can understand being in that energy because I've been in that energy before. And that's the energy I was talking about a minute ago, where you're doing something with expectations from somebody. Instead of going, oh, I did this for this person because this person is doing so much for the world around them and doing so much for me, so I'm going to go ahead and give back to this person. Instead of that, it was, I'm going to give to this person, and now I expect you to be my friend, and I expect you to interact with me all the time, regardless of what you have going on, and to help me heal all my problems without, it just, that doesn't work that way. You can't force somebody to be your friend when you don't even know each other, when you are virtual strangers. You have to allow things to build slow and steady. And you can't hold something over somebody's head. Oh, I did you these favors, so you owe me. And if you don't do anything for me, I won't be doing anything for you anymore. I didn't need you to do anything for me. I didn't ask you to do anything for me. And if I would have known you had strings attached, I wouldn't have accepted anything you did for me. And it's perfectly fine when other people do that with you too, because sometimes we get into that energy ourselves. Release the old and rest. Let Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Sage, be devoted and committed. So this is loving and letting yourself be loved. And it's not loving to gain something. It's not loving to hold on to somebody and keep them forever. It's loving somebody because you love them. You love them simply because they are. And nobody is perfect, and everybody has a shadow side. And everybody sometimes lashes out at other people with their shadow side. Thank you for the encouragement, Rashima. Transformations are definitely coming for everybody here too. Really learning from everything that you've gone through, putting the lessons to use. Understanding that yes, you might be a healer, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to choose to heal. And even as a healer, you can only do so much. The rest is in the hands of the people that you're working with, and whether or not they want to learn those lessons and heal and grow as well. Whether or not they want to put in that time and effort. You can't force anybody to do any of those things. Just like you can't force anybody to love you by loving them more, or holding on tighter, or trying to possess them, or control them, or manipulate them. None of that stuff makes them love you more. In fact, it shoves them right out the door 99% of the time. Unless they're so traumatized that they stick around for 10 years, but eventually they do leave, or they kill you in your sleep. Because that has happened too. But, it's not something that you can force on anybody. Love is something given freely. And it should be given freely. It shouldn't be given with strings attached. It shouldn't be given because you want something. It shouldn't be given because you need the other person. It should be given because you want the other person in your life. And at the same time, it should be given to yourself in the same measure too. And if somebody is treating you in a way that is disrespectful of you or your energy or your body or your mind or your soul, and they are hurting you and abusing you, then you should love yourself and practice self-love and tough love, because both of those are love too. Walking away from somebody who is treating you wrong is love. It's love for yourself and it's love for the other person, technically, because you're keeping the other person from turning into more of a monster by removing your energy from that situation. Sometimes they decide to heal after that. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they never do. That doesn't mean you never had love for that person. And that's okay that you do. There's nothing to feel guilty or ashamed of about that either. Most people have love in a certain way for the people that abuse them, especially if they're able to hold on to so much hate. You can't have that without that love. But that doesn't mean that they need to be in your life either. And that also doesn't mean that nobody new can be in your life because of what they did. So, in between messages, if anybody would like to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list all in the description box below. And I truly appreciate you guys for any of that you do. And thank you for that. Let's see what else we're going to be discussing today. I spend a lot of time watching you work. I'm not sure what you are doing, but I try not to interrupt. I'm so happy when you take breaks and you play with me. You give me the best toys and treats, and I feel so loved. So, if somebody has either an animal or a child, or even possibly a partnership, this could even be a partnership if it's somebody that spends a lot of time watching you work or something like that. They really want you to know that they really appreciate all of the time and energy you put into the connection with them, that they love the time that you guys spend together, the playing that you do together, any kind of treats that you give them, or if you buy them little gifts or presents, same thing, gifts and presents. They really love that. They love watching you work. They love seeing you happy and passionate about the things that you're working on and what you're doing. They really do enjoy the energy that you have when you're in your zone. Hi, Ezra. Today is $10 question day, so if you want to ask a question, you can send $10 through Cash App or PayPal and throw your question down there, and I will answer it when it gets here. Pay attention to your surroundings. You might notice things that you missed before. You might notice just how happy the people or animals are around you, or just how supportive some of the people are around you, where you may have thought that you were having to fight against everybody for a long time. You might realize that you were fighting against yourself most of all, and that some of those people weren't as villainous as you thought that they were. Especially if you had dealt with a lot of trauma in the past, because you could have been projecting that trauma onto new people in your life. Don't be paranoid. Just allow yourself to be caught off, or just don't allow yourself to be caught off guard either. Notice and appreciate the signs that you are given as well. So, if you do get signs about something that may go wrong in your life, or something that may be happening behind the scenes or things like that, it's not time to get obsessive and paranoid and to constantly overthink about it and to allow it to rule your life and destroy things in your life, but also pay attention to them. Be ready for them so that you don't have to get ready. And know that for some reason, this was supposed to happen, and that's okay. Time to care for you as only you can. You put so much effort into caring for others. Why wouldn't you do the same thing for you? It's time for self-love and for self-appreciation. Know all that you do and give yourself a thank you, and then take a well-deserved break. Plus, when you do that, that's when you'll start to notice those extra supportive people around you as well. Because if you're not supporting yourself, if you're not loving yourself, if you're not showing yourself that kindness, that care, that respect that you deserve, then you won't see any of that from anyone outside of you either. If you're not showing yourself that respect that you deserve, if you're thinking you're a horrible person who's not doing the best that you could be, who's never doing enough, and you're constantly striving to do more and more and more, then you don't see from the outside how many people think that you're doing enough, if not way too much. And sometimes you can even blame them and feel like it's them who's making you be in that energy. But that energy is there because of the past scars and trauma that you've been through, and the past things that have made you feel like you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, that you have to do more than anybody else in order to succeed, or in order to make a difference, or in order to make an impact. You make an impact just by being you. And you make an even better one when you take care of yourself, love yourself, congratulate yourself, respect yourself, recognize yourself. Because then you're in a much higher vibration and you're spreading a much higher vibration. It wasn't me, it was always them. I changed the way that I handle things, but I shouldn't have. Start speaking out again, it's time. Leave behind the guilt and the shame. That bitch, B. Miller. So, you may have started closing your mouth when important issues arose, when important topics came up, when important situations came up, when things were going on that you didn't think was right. You may have started closing your mouth because people made you feel like what you had to say wasn't important, or the way that you were doing things wasn't the right way, or that your information wasn't valuable. You may have made yourself feel that way in some sort of way. And you may have been blaming you when in fact there was other people who were doing things that were causing really negative situations to play out. And you should have never stopped speaking your truth. You should have never stopped putting your foot down. You should have never stopped standing up for yourself. Somebody actually, around the time that this song came into my life, That Bitch by B. Miller, somebody was in my life and they were trying to tell me that I was too angry because I was speaking passionately about the things that I felt very strongly about. I wasn't even that angry when I was speaking about them. Do I have a lot of anger for those issues that I find that I'm passionate about? Yes. But anger does drive things sometimes. Anger makes a lot of changes in this world. It depends on how you handle it when you're feeling that anger. It depends on how you channel it. It depends on whether or not you acknowledge it or deny it. It depends on whether or not you put it to good use, or if you're using it to rip somebody's head off for no reason, because you've been holding it inside for so long that it just bubbles up and out all over everyone. Are you ignoring that voice in your head that says that you can make a difference in this world? Because if you are, it's time to stop ignoring that voice, and it's time to start speaking that voice. It's time to start making those changes and those impacts that you can make, because you are an important and valuable person in this world. And because you make a stronger difference than you ever thought was possible just by opening your mouth and allowing the knowledge and wisdom that you have inside of you to pour out, whether people like it or not, whether people want to call you a bitch or not. Because people will let some people just run around speaking all kinds of trash all the time, and they're cool and they're great and they're wonderful, and then somebody else speaks their mind and they don't like what they have to say, so they're instantly a bitch or a Karen. They're a Karen. God, I hate that whole Karen thing, because you know what? Yeah, there's sometimes where some of those people in those videos really are. It's just like, wow, why are you doing this? That's ridiculous. But other times that person was literally just standing up for themselves, or telling people that, hey, I asked for this a certain way. I'm paying a lot of money for this, and you gave it to me this way, and now I'm asking you to replace it, and you're being an ass. Don't let people talk you out of speaking your truth, or standing up for yourself, or standing up for those that you love, or for those things that you believe in, because those are important to you, and you believe in those things for a reason. As we were talking about at the beginning, your dreams mean something. Your goals mean something. The song Jacob Lee Conscience is a very good reminder of that as well, because he talks about the fact that we are given those dreams for a reason. Those dreams wouldn't be planted in our minds if there wasn't a reason for it. No matter how much everybody else wants to tell you you're wrong for believing in those things, you believe in them for a reason. You were meant to. Remember to look at the bigger picture. Remember not to get lost in all those small little details and to focus too much on the little things. Choose your battles wisely. Protect your energy. And take your positive energy, your beautiful vibrations, your happiness, your joy, and your love and spread it around. Don't hide it away because of other people. Don't allow other people to make you feel like you're naive or gullible or stupid, or like you're just going to be hurt and abused and used and taken advantage of because you're a kind person, you're a nice person, you're a polite person. At the same time, you don't have to be polite all the time either. Because sometimes it does call for you to be very firm with people, very strong with people, to say what needs to be said, to say the truth they need to hear and that you need to express. Get into that more playful, joyful energy again, though. That happy, childlike state. Enjoy your life, play, have fun. And once again, it's this otter is about playing and having fun and happiness and joy and everything like that. I'm so happy when you take breaks to play with me. Pay attention to your surroundings. You might notice things that you missed before. So you may be missing out on some of the happiness and joy and fun and love and life that you could have in your life because you're so focused on the fears, the anxieties, the hurt and the pain of the past. You're welcome, Rashima. Seek your answers within. What is your heart and your mind telling you? Not just your mind and not just your heart, but combined together, what do they tell you? Not that overthinking, obsessing, negativity-based and generated crap, but when you're sitting in a peaceful zone, in a peaceful space, in your own energy, like sitting in a hot bath and just having some quiet time with some candles lit, or sitting outside near some trees with the wind blowing and the leaves rustling and just listening to that, what does it tell you? How do you feel? Where does your heart lie? What do you need to communicate? What do you need to express? Let two become one. Allow yourself to just be in flow. To let things happen naturally and unfold naturally. Look how scared she actually looks right there. She looks very scared right there. But you don't need to be scared. There's nothing to be scared of. Sometimes bad things do happen. That's okay. Sometimes amazingly good things happen, but they never happen if we're too afraid to take a leap of faith because of the bad things that could happen. So it's time to put yourself back out there again, and it's time not to obsess, stress, and worry over it, but to just be you. And to know that just being you is going to attract the best things you could possibly attract. Traitor. I like that card because that really, it reminds me of a love situation a lot of times too. This is a new deck, but I've seen this card like 8 times already. Exchange energy to create abundance. It's an equal give and take. It's an equal exchange. When you move slow, you give both people time to get comfortable and to warm up to the situation. Yes, a confirmation for a leap of faith. That is definitely what this is talking about right here. You give people a time to warm up to a situation, to work into a situation. You give a little, they give a little, you receive a little, they receive a little, and you slowly build something strong, solid, stable, something very grounded, something that actually feels real. It gives those fears time to ease down and to ground themselves, instead of amping them into a firestorm of craziness because we're trying to shove things together so fast because we don't want them to end in despair and pain and hurt and sadness. And if they do, they do. But what's so wrong with enjoying the moment right now? Enjoying things the way that they are. It's time to really see things from a higher perspective. The Hawk talks about higher perspectives as well. Also, listening to the messages that you're receiving. You definitely have some spirit guides on the other side that are trying to bring you messages, that are trying to bring you hints, that are trying to communicate to you, express things to you about the bigger picture, and about not getting so caught up and lost in the details of everything, but in really being able to be calm and peaceful and understanding that even if there was a lot of things in the past that weren't so great, they happened for a reason. That doesn't mean there aren't going to be great things in the future. Sometimes people have a lot of negativity at the beginning and then a lot of positivity at the end. Sometimes they have a lot of positivity at the beginning and a lot of negativity at the end. So if you had a lot of negativity up until now, who knows? Maybe you've got all the positivity in the world coming your way. But you'll never know if you don't take that leap of faith, if you don't express yourself, and if you don't allow yourself to just ease in a very simple, easy way, instead of making everything so complicated. Communication is definitely going to bring a lot of expansion, a lot of growth, a lot of fertility. It's definitely time to bloom things. There's a lot of communication energy here, and really being able to communicate from your heart, being able to love and be loved, being able to open up your heart and your mind, being able to express yourself. This guy's even got his hand on his heart too, and that just happens to be where I'm putting all the hearts. Being able to feel your heart and respond and act from your heart. Not allowing your mind to get in the way, but allowing your mind to work with your heart so you can communicate in the best fashion possible. Understanding and wisdom can definitely be found in everything that you have gone through, and definitely can be found in the messages and guidance you're receiving as well. This person here is struggling with a fish. And you know, when you're going against the flow, it can feel like you are trying to hold on to something that's slippery and slipping away, and you're never going to make it, and it's all going to fall apart, and everything's just horrible and awful and chaotic. There's so many conflicts, arguments, so much fear, doubt, anxiety, when instead we could just go with the flow and allow things to unfold naturally, and things feel so much more peaceful and at ease. And yes, those fears and those doubts still come up, but when you're taking it easy like that and you're reminding yourself that it's not the end of the world, that you're just enjoying yourself, and that you're just getting to know someone, and that you're just creating a bond, and it may be a bond that lasts forever, but doubtful, because you know what? Nothing lasts forever if you want to get technical anyway. So we might as well enjoy what we have while we have it, instead of worrying about losing it, because we lose everything eventually anyway. So live in the moment and enjoy what you have while you do have it. So that's what I have for that section of messages. And in between questions, if anybody wants to be able to purchase a question or donate to the channel, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. And I really do appreciate everybody who does any of that as well. Very grateful for that, you guys. Thank you. And let's see what else our guides want to talk about today. Real eyes realize real lies. It sounds like you're saying the same word 3 times, but if you look closer, you can see things. Listen to your intuition. Trust in your intuition. Know that what you feel is definitely correct. And at the same time, don't allow yourself to slip into paranoia because of it, like we were talking about earlier. Just know that if you're an authentic person, and if you're the more truthful you get with yourself and with the world around you, the more you open up, the more authentic you get, the more real vibes you put out there, the more you start to realize those more shady vibes. Those masked vibes. Doesn't mean they're always lying per se, like maliciously lying, but wearing a mask, any kind of mask, you will start to see those things. Those masks will crumble in front of you simply because you aren't wearing one. When you aren't wearing one, it's a lot easier to see through them on others. When you're wearing one too, it's a lot harder to read through the bluffs. So the more honest you get with yourself and the world around you, the more you're going to start to see things more clearly. and realize and notice things that are more off. Also, if you're dealing with anybody who has been gossiping or spreading lies, things like that, just know that all they're doing is sorting out the trash. Because if anybody's going to believe all of that crap about you without ever getting to know you or without really delving into anything or seeing the true story, then those people are just as shady. Those people are people that are led along by other people. They're people who don't think for themselves. They're people who don't research for themselves. They're people that aren't actually looking to create anything real because all they're doing is believing in the facade. And you don't need that energy around you anyway. So if people choose to believe those things, that's not your problem. What is your problem is making sure that you don't get stuck on it, sucked into it, or obsessive and constantly worried about what anybody else is thinking, what they're saying, what they're doing. And I do gossip readings, and a lot of people are interested in that. And sometimes it's very good to know what's going on around you and why things are going on in that way. At the same time, you can know what's going on around you and what's being said without having to give all of your energy to it and without allowing it to destroy your world. Because small minds shouldn't be destroying your world. Focus on the things around you now and here. See the beauty in it all. Show gratitude and clear out anything that is unneeded. Blessings will soon be coming. You have to make room for those blessings sometimes. If you got too much junk in your house, clear some of it out. And then you'll realize, wow, all of a sudden, some of the things that I've been wanting to put to use in my house for a while now, or I've been wanting to get for my house, all of a sudden they're coming in out of nowhere. Opportunity after opportunity for things to come into your life because you're getting rid of that unneeded, unnecessary stuff that's there and accumulating. Just like when a fisherman goes fishing and he gets a big old catch. It's really not that great if he keeps all of it to throw half of it away. If he reels in a bunch of stuff that he's not going to use and doesn't want, has no need of, then he should be throwing it back. Just like we should be. If there's people that are in your life that just are not feeling like they're on your vibration or you're not gelling with, or there's just no way to bridge the gaps or whatever it is, or if there's somebody in your past that ghosted out on you and disappeared from your life and you're still stuck on them, fretting over them, worrying about them, thinking about them, obsessing over them, wishing they were back with you, it's time to release that. And to know that in releasing that, you're not losing anything. You're letting go of baggage that is drowning you. It's weighing you down. It's like wearing a brick and jumping into the ocean. Because it's literally drowning you. When you could be flying free and you could be opening that door to a beautiful new sunset and a beautiful new emotional beginning. It is a leap of faith into the darkness, though. When that moon comes up, it only shines so much light. And it's hard to believe in what you're seeing. And you're facing a lot of illusions. You're facing a lot of things that people may fear because they're unknown. But there's no reason to fear the unknown. Just like there's no reason to fear people who have differences from you. That fear needs to be released, and that door needs to be opened, because nothing new can come in until you choose to close the door behind you and open the new one. Follow the moon. Wow, that came out at the perfect timing. Seek the lesson. Reveal your truth. Direction guardian, choose your path. Shaman, trust in the higher forces. So it's time to trust in the guides that are leading you onto this dark path and to know that they will light the way for you. It's time to trust in your healing capabilities as well, your ability to heal yourself and the world around you. It's time to reveal the truth of who you really are. Shamanism is actually one of the biggest things that I do believe in as far as my capabilities go. because I do a lot of healing, energetic healing through touch, through distance, through speech and communication. And shamanism, Reiki, it's kind of all the same thing. Energetic healing, ASMR, it's all the same thing. It's all the same principle. It all comes from the same place. It all comes from the same beings that are watching over us as well. From our ancestors, our angels, our mother and father on the divine side. It's time to choose a path, and it's time to walk down that path. Instead of feeling stuck and stagnant and indecisive, looking at the path behind you when you got new paths in front of you. And sometimes it's hard to know if you're choosing the right path, but just know that when you choose that path, it will be the right path, no matter where it leads you. And sometimes it does lead you into despair, or it does lead you into chaos, or it does lead you into a bad situation. But that bad situation was needed for something. And that bad situation wasn't meant to be avoided either. Everybody's like, oh, use your intuition, and you should have known. No, we are not meant to know everything. Because if we knew everything, we never would have went into those situations to begin with, and they wanted us in those situations to learn and grow from them. Those situations were meant to be there to teach us something. And if we knew, truly knew what was coming, then we never would have taken that path to begin with, and we never would have ended up where we were meant to be. I would have never ended up here. You would have never ended up here. Not if you had a peaceful life with nothing bad ever happening in it. So it's time to really trust in your intuition, trust in where you're being guided to go. Your intuition isn't always leading you to the most beautiful, amazing, sweet, awesome, lovely place, but a lot of times it is. And we lose those beautiful, amazing, awful, or those beautiful, amazing, wonderful things in worrying about the awful things, or in focusing on the awful things. Even if there are awful things that your path brings you to, every path brings you to awful things. But every path brings you to beautiful things too. So focus on those beautiful things. Grow those beautiful things. Seek the lessons in the path that you're on. Trust in the journey that you're making and where it's leading you. And really reveal more and more of you every day, removing that mask more and more, and showing your true self to the world. As long as you're doing that, you're on the right path. So, let's see what else we got today. The melting of winter. Find the warmth glowing within. Having optimism is a win. It's growing more every day, melting all the ice away. Your solar plexus shines so bright it chases away winter's night. As the snow melts, your walls drop. Keep going now, you must not stop. This new ground can seem shaky, I know. Just think of the green grass that's growing below. Uncovering your heart is hard work, it's true, but you will be rewarded for all that you do. If you want that reward, you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to work hard, pray, have faith, be disciplined, and give it your all. And when you're holding back out of fear, you're not giving it your all. You're stuck and you're stagnant because you're worried about what could come instead of the beauty that's already right there that you just can't see because snow is covering it up. And if anybody would like to be able to find that poem again, it is on my other channel, D Storytime. You can find the link for that in the description box below. I really do appreciate the support over there on that channel as well. It really does help me out more than you know. Please take my lack of interest as a no. I have boundary issues and I have a hard time hurting others with rejection, as I know how that feels. Rejection is protection, but I still have a hard time seeing it that way from either side. Love is when both people feel it, and that's what we both really want. Find the strength to let me go. Find someone who gives you the time and the interest that you're looking for and that you deserve. Don't get stuck on someone who doesn't see you that way. It hurts, and I should know. I wish that I could be honest with you, but it just hurts too much. I know that sounds selfish, but it is what it is. Maybe one day I will learn to speak my truth. So once again, getting back to if you had people ghost you and walk out on you, or if you had people who are breadcrumbing you, or if you have people who just don't seem very interested. I mean, they're polite to you, they're kind to you, they make you feel happy when you're around them, but they really are not interested in you. They really don't care about what you like. They don't want to go do anything with you. Don't want to build on this connection and make it something more. And because of those people, you may be putting your heart on ice. Those people were not the people that you were meant to be with. It's hard to accept that. It's hard to let go of that, especially since you're feeling like the feelings were there. Your intuition told you the feelings were there. Everything seemed so perfect and so right. But everything wasn't so perfect and so right because that person was not living up to the image that you have in your mind of what you wanted between the two of you. And that means that that person's picture can be replaced by a different person's picture who is actually wanting the same things that you want with you. But the only way that you can have that is by closing that door and opening that new door. You were born to create. Respect your boundaries. A new day dawns. So there is a new day coming. There is new light coming out again. It may seem dark right now, and it may seem scary, and it may be a bit nerve-wracking, and it may feel like you're going out on this new journey and you have no idea what to do or where to turn or who you can trust. But the sun always comes out again tomorrow. There's always a new day after the night. There's always stars that light the night to give you hope, to give you belief, to help you find your way through that darkness, to give you inspiration, to make you remember the sun and how beautiful and bright it is, and how much clarity and truth there is coming your way, even if it's not there right now. It's time to respect your own boundaries and to remind yourself of what you do want in a relationship and what you don't want in a relationship. You want somebody who's honest and can communicate with you. You want somebody who can express their emotions, especially if you're somebody who expresses your emotions. You don't want somebody who's going to hold all those things in. And if you are feeling like you aren't feeling the same things for someone as they're feeling for you, then you have to be able to express that as well. I'm actually going out to dinner with a friend on Saturday, and at one point he was having some feelings for me, and I was like, yeah, I don't feel that way about you. I've re-clarified that 3 or 4 times since then, because I just feel like I should. And he keeps telling me, I know, you're just looking for friendship. That's fine. That's all I want is friendship. But I've dealt with a lot of people who say that and then get really pissed off because I don't want anything more. But here's the thing. That's not my problem. That's their problem. That's something inside of them. Just like when somebody is trying to get across to you that they're not wanting a relationship with you and you get upset, that's not something with them. That's something with you. That's something inside of you that needs healing. Why do you want the person that doesn't want you? Why do you feel like you're not worthy of someone who does want you? And I know there's a lot of love there for that person and who they are, but if they don't love you the same way, then they are not the person for you. If they're busy breadcrumbing you or ghosting you or leaving you on red and not responding to you, or if they're busy not giving you the same passion and love and care as you're giving them, don't you deserve somebody who wants to do that with you? Do you have somebody around you who wants that with you that you're not paying attention to? And if you're not feeling the same way for somebody, that's okay too. You don't have to feel guilty about that or ashamed of that. You don't have to feel like there's anything wrong with you because you're not enjoying the company of the person who's enjoying your company, because you know what? There's just something about them that doesn't feel right for you, just like for this person, and how there's something about you that doesn't feel right for them. Arrow, surround yourself with protective energy. Mirror Guardian, take time to reflect. Reflect on what's important to you. Reflect on when it's worth standing up and saying something. Reflect on the battles that you're choosing to fight and where you should be choosing to fight and you're not, or where you are fighting and you really could choose not to be because it's not that important of a situation. Surround yourself with that protective energy, that protective vibe, so that you can really be in your own energies, not picking up the energies of everyone around you and having those energies affect how you're thinking or acting or anything like that. It's really a good idea, especially if you're an empath, to make sure that you are taking care of your energy, cleansing your energy, protecting your energy, shielding yourself, detaching yourself a bit, so that you're not carrying the burdens of the entire world on your back. So that you're not feeling responsible for everyone else and all of their situations. So you're not feeling like you have this superhero complex where you have to save the world. And so you're not in a martyr complex where you're upset at everyone because you do everything and they do nothing. Because instead you're having those boundaries and that self-love, and you're making sure to take care of you so you can take care of others. And you're only taking care of others to a limited extent instead of doing all the care that they should be doing themselves. Because it is everyone else's responsibility to take care of themselves as much as it's your responsibility to take care of yourself. And then we're not busy trying to fill voids everywhere and getting into codependent relationships or toxic, unhealthy, unequal give and takes, because everybody's taking care of themselves and everybody's expected to take care of themselves. But if people need help, they can still reach out and ask for it. But it's not a burden because it's not an all the time help that never ends. Animal guardian, trust your instincts. So trust in your instincts, trust in your beliefs, trust in how you're feeling, trust in your intuition. And when your intuition is so mired down with everybody else's energies as well, that can throw off your intuition. That can throw off your energy. That can throw off your vibrations. That can put you in a state where you're not really listening to your intuition. You're listening to the emotions of everyone around you instead of what you're actually feeling. What you're actually feeling is your intuition. What everyone else around you is feeling is what they're feeling. And that can't be what you're guided by. That can't be what you're acting off of. It's important to have empathy for other people. But there is a such thing as allowing yourself to be guided by it too much. I'm really glad that it is, Rashima, and I'm glad that you're here to hear this today, because you know what? There's some really good messages coming out today. Not to, sound anything less than humble, but there's some really good messages coming out today that I don't think I've actually spoken a lot of this before, even though I've felt a fair amount of it and gone through a fair amount of it, all of it. I've gone through a lot of stuff, guys, and it's been hard, but I asked to be able to be here to do this. And they said, you still have some more stuff to learn. So I had to go through a lot the last couple years. And lessons are not always easy. They're usually very hard. Just know you'll be finding your way out of that soon enough. Just like I am. Cross, the black cat, they're both black. This is all protection energy. The swan. A blue pentacle. Or diamond, peace sign, and some lips. So the peace inside yourself is going to bring peace into your world, externally as well. Love for yourself is going to bring the love of another that is true into your world. There's definitely going to be some sort of communication that is going to bring solid commitments into your life, stability, strength, that's going to be bringing abundance and opportunities into your life. Be graceful. Be poised, be ready, but be at peace. Be able to enjoy life. Be calm, be serene. And to be in that peaceful, calm, serene energy, it's very important to do that energetic work on yourself and make sure that you are in the best mental, emotional, and physical health that you can be. That self-care is so important to living the best life that you can. It's not selfish, it's not cruel, it's not mean, it's not hurtful to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. It is cruel, mean, hurtful, and selfish for other people to expect you to drop yourself in a toilet so you can take care of them. But they didn't learn any better either, just like you didn't learn any better. And now you're learning to do these things in a different way. That instinct energy is coming out again with the black cat symbolism. Black cat symbolism is actually, there's a very in-depth description to it. I can't remember most of it right now, so you might actually want to look up black cat symbolism. There's a lot of people who are afraid of black cats, but there's nothing to be afraid of. There's a lot of people who fear them. There's a lot of people who kill them. People fear what they don't understand a lot of times. They fear the unknown, and it leads to things like that. That's why we don't want to feed that fear energy, because it leads to us doing things that are so out of character, things that will eat at us for a very long time because of the fear that we were in and the actions that we made during that moment of weakness. So when you're feeling afraid, it's always good to stop and ask yourself, why am I feeling afraid? What is causing this? What can I do to learn from this? What can I do to heal this? What can I do to find my peace again? Prayers is definitely one of the biggest parts of that as well. And having faith that those prayers are heard, that you're not alone, that you are answered, that you are watched over, guided, and protected, even when it seems like you aren't. Because a lot of times it can seem like you're not, because I'm getting hurt every day. Why aren't you here to stop it? Because a good parent isn't there to stop you from being hurt, to protect you from everything that comes your way. That's called possession, controlling. That's called not allowing you to live your life, keeping you tied down and bound. You're allowed to move around freely. And you have to be able to go through those things in order to learn. If your children never face anything on their own before they become an adult, and then they get thrown out into this adult world with no knowledge or wisdom from anything they've gone through because they've never gone through anything, they don't even know what to do, how to behave, how to react, what's going on around them. And because your guides have allowed you to go through these things, you have a lot more knowledge and wisdom and understanding of things than others. But they've always been there to guide you in your moments of darkness and despair. They've always been there to guide you through the pain and the hardship. They've always been there to catch your tears when they fell, when you were alone and you thought that nobody heard you. They heard you. They were there to lift you up, to bring a beautiful little pink flower into your life, to bring a smile to your face, something so small and simple, but they knew that you would see it. Something that catches your attention, and all of a sudden it's like the whole world just filled up with light. Even if it was only there for a second, you couldn't hold on to it and it slipped through your fingers and became dark again. Hold on to those moments of light and those moments of darkness, because you will find your way out again. And just like no parent can really affect much of their child's depression, they really can't. All they can do is give helpful suggestions from the outside. All they can do is try to present them with things that make them happy once in a while, but it doesn't mean that depression doesn't slip back in when they turn their back. And it's not their fault that their kid's having that problem, because everybody has that problem sometimes. And all they can do is be there to love them and let them know that they're cared for and appreciated. Let them know that the sun will come back out again. That's what our guides are there for. Our guides aren't there to completely block out anything ever that could harm us, because that's impossible. And because life is made up of both good and bad things, and it has to be. So, what else do you guys want to say to us today? That I'm a loving parent and you can't blame all of the problems on me. Sometimes you have to take responsibility yourself as well. Trying to buy someone is the biggest red flag for me anymore. That's kind of the situation I was talking about that person the other day. Or even thinking that I could be bought. Don't sell yourself short. You could do it on your own if you had to. Hard? Yes. Worth it? Worth every second of misery that it takes to make it on your own. Financial abuse could be an important aspect in somebody's life. And you know what? It's worth it to walk away from that and have nothing and rely on grace and faith to get you through, because they will make sure that you have everything that you need. I am a testament to that. Because I had nothing when I came out here. Some days I still do, but I have what I need. And they make sure of it. They make sure when I need it, it's there. Because I have faith and trust in them. And I take the steps I'm guided to take. If you're being led away from something, don't let fear stop you in taking those steps simply because you'll be alone or you won't have the means, whatever it is that's holding you back and keeping you stuck in a situation that's unhealthy for you. Do not do that. Believe in yourself. Captivate those around you with fiery passion and skillful execution. You have everything that you need within yourself. We each have a purpose, and yours is very great. Think of the times when things could have been deadly, but they weren't. You are never alone. The divine, angels, and spiritual realm has your back. What were we just talking about? But as a parent, they're not responsible for everything that happens in your life. Parents can't be there every second. They got other children to look after, for one thing, and fuck, the divine mother and father have billions of children to look after. Even the ones that you are asking them to look after you and keep you safe from are their children too. Listen with your heart and you will understand. Let it break upon you like the waves upon the sand. What direction lights you up inside? Where do you feel the most comfortable and at ease? What do you enjoy doing the most? Choices that make you most happy? Are you choosing them? Or are you letting fear rule the day? Who do you enjoy being with the most? Where do you enjoy being? What do you enjoy doing? Those are very good questions to ask yourself. What makes you feel the most comfortable, like you can be yourself the most at ease, the most at peace when you're involved in it? When you move away from it, you might be feeling afraid, overthinking, questioning. But then when you're back in that energy, you're feeling safe and comfortable and calm again. So ask yourself, is it your fear or your intuition that's talking to you when you're alone? Hi, Muse. Nice to see you again. I honestly don't even know that you exist. Just like you, I'm busy pining after someone who doesn't see me either. We are mirrors. I wish that I knew how to shine brighter, how to stop being invisible to my interest. You want to know how you do that? You just be you. And you don't worry about whether or not that interest is interested in you. You just be you. If I'm shining, everybody gonna shine. I was born like this, don't even gotta try. Like Chardonnay, I get better over time. Damn straight. Sometimes it takes time. And sometimes when somebody isn't seeing you and you aren't seeing them, it's because you aren't seeing yourselves. I wish I knew how to shine brighter and how to stop being invisible to my interest. Are you being invisible because you're afraid? What are you afraid of in showing who you really are, in allowing that beautiful light to shine bright, in being you to the fullest extent? Step into your full light and be you, and know that you will have others who notice you. As we are chasing others who don't see us, someone is chasing us too, and we don't see it because we are so focused on something that we can't have instead, or something that isn't right for us. Don't settle for the ones who don't see you, or ones who see you that you don't see either. Get to know the ones that are looking, but don't settle, because you want to be looking at them too. You could also be bold and make the first move. Who knows? Once I see you, things may change, but so far I haven't noticed. It's not your fault. I'm just very focused on someone else the way that you are on me. So, there could definitely be situations in your life right now where you're just feeling like people aren't seeing you, people aren't appreciating you, people aren't loving you, people aren't noticing you. Are there ways that you are making yourself invisible? Or are they not seeing you because they're busy focused on other things? Maybe they have a lot going on in their life. Sometimes people have a lot more going on behind the scenes than we can see. And so they're just focused on that, and it has nothing to do with us. And sometimes it does have to do with us, and they're just really not interested in this situation, and that's okay too. So the best thing that you can really do is work on yourself. Work on loving you more fully. Work on healing yourself more. Work on caring for yourself. Go out, have fun. Allow yourself to be seen. Allow yourself to be heard. Get to know people. Connect. Enjoy life. And allow things that happen naturally to happen naturally, instead of getting so stuck on things that just are not working out naturally like you'd want them to be, that are taking too much effort and too much time to build nothing. Nourish the soul. Know your fears. Let go of the old. So it's time, once again, we were talking about this at the beginning of the messages today. It's time to close that old door, to release that baggage, to release that brick that is dragging you down to the bottom of the ocean and drowning you in misery and pain. You're not letting go of something that you should be afraid of letting go of. It's not the end of the world to release this. If something is meant to be for you, it will be for you. If you love someone, let them go. If they come back, then you'll know. Don't wait for them to come back, because that's not letting them go. Letting them go is dropping that. And who knows, if they do come back, you may not even want it anymore anyway. In closing that old door, you'll be able to open new doors. And you might be afraid to close that old door and walk through a new door because you've already put so much time and effort and energy into this door. And if this door doesn't work out, what if no door ever does work out? And then I'm just stuck here standing alone in this empty doorway. That's not usually what happens when you let go of the old door. That's what happens when you hold on to it, is you end up stuck standing alone in this doorway with nothing, because you're refusing to let go of things that are long past and over, so that you can open your heart up, your mind up, your soul up to new experiences without fears or worries or thinking it's going to be so awful and horrible, but with an open heart and an open mind, thinking that, hey, I could come into the most beautiful experiences of my life just around the corner. And now the other song from Pocahontas is coming into my mind. Just around the river bend, I look once more. Just around the river bend, beyond the shore, where the dove flies free. Should you take the smoothest course, which really isn't leading anywhere? Or should you believe that there are new experiences out there if you just take that first step? And all it takes is taking that first step. And you just take one step at a time. It doesn't have to be a sprint to the finish. You don't have to take a giant leap. You just take that little step, and you'll start to see synchronicities, alignment. You'll start to see all kinds of things coming into your world to show you that, hey, I'm so proud of you for taking that step. Because you aren't alone, and they are there watching you and guiding you. And when you take that step, they'll show you that you're going in the right direction. Nourish your soul. What does your soul need? What is it calling out for? That really reminds me of Aladdin with the Cave of Wonders. What is your soul needing? Your soul might be needing a little bit of change, a little bit of optimism, a little bit of hope, a little bit of realizing that you don't have to be anybody different than you to have a beautiful life. That you are amazing exactly as you are, like Aladdin had to find out. And also that you don't have to be so serious all the time. Because there is time for play. There is time for fun. There's time for enjoyment. And when you allow those things to happen, beautiful things bloom before your eyes and you didn't even notice it. Just like when you have that fear, that doubt, that pain, and that worry, and miserable things bloom before your eyes. You sure notice those though. But you really don't notice that you're creating it either. But you are. When you just enjoy your time and your life and you live in the moment and you're just having fun and going with the flow, it's amazing the beautiful things that can be created in your life. When you're not stuck on something old, so you're holding yourself back and keeping yourself from enjoying things, or when you're not stuck on things having to be a certain way, or when you're not stuck on the expectations and worrying about what's coming in the future, but you're just enjoying yourself. Some of the best romance movies happen when people are just enjoying themselves and they didn't even know it was coming. It just smacked them in the face. Because that's not what they were doing. They were just enjoying themselves. They weren't trying to force something into being. They weren't trying to control a situation. They weren't overly upset about it or constantly thinking about it. It just smacked them in the face out of nowhere because they were just enjoying their time with somebody and it bloomed into something beautiful and nobody even saw it until it was there. And those can be the best types of moments. Whether it's in your love life, your family life, your friendship life, it doesn't matter what it is. That beautiful, vibrant, high vibrational energy creates beauty all around you and growth and fertility. You don't have to be anything other than what you are either. Peacocks have a tendency to, there's a lot of symbolism about strutting around and, showing off. There's also a lot of symbolism about the deeper beauty being within. It's not outside of you that matters, it's what's within you. You could be living the poor life in the gutter. But if you're a vibrant ray of sunshine and light and life, somebody's going to find that beautiful. If nobody's seen the movie Beauty and the Broken, it's on YouTube, and I just rewatched it last night with my daughter. Great movie. Great movie. Has a lot about what should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. And, if you get stuck on what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, that can ruin a lot of really good things too. Because you're afraid of what could happen because you shouldn't be doing this or whatever the case may be. Medicine Mother. Honor your inner knowing. Fire Guardian. Ignite your passions. So, this will also ignite your passions. To just drop your guard and allow yourself to live without worrying so much is going to ignite your passions. What is the point of living on this freaking planet and going through this whole life if you're not actually going to live while you're here? What's the point of it? If you're going to stay in a box your whole life, or if you're going to hold yourself back your whole life because something bad could happen. Shit, I could get hit by a bus when I walk out of my house today. I'm not going to let that stop me from walking out of my house, for one thing. But for another thing, I'm not going to worry about what could happen if I go skydiving. Something could happen. But really, what's the point of worrying about that? Something could happen just with me walking out my door. So it's time to allow those fears to fall away, and it's time to just enjoy your life and to really allow yourself to be filled with passion, inspiration, joy again. And to live like you could be gone at any second. What would you regret tomorrow if you didn't do it today? What would it be that would leave an aching hole in your soul if you never got the chance to do it? Norma McCarrick, I believe, has a poem called If Tomorrow Never Comes. You can find it by Googling it. Great poem. I found it in a newspaper clipping of a friend of mine. She was like 45 years old when I was 14. Things you should and shouldn't be doing. If you thought about that, you wouldn't be doing some of those things. And a lot of my friends were that age when I was that age because I was very much older than what I was. But I found that poem in a newspaper clipping in her house, and she let me borrow it so I could scan it onto my computer and print it out, and I put it in my scrapbook that I made out of one of my literature books. Beautiful poem, though. And basically, it's about what would you do today if there was no tomorrow? I know the lyrics by heart, but it's so hard to spout them off on here when I'm in the middle of this. If I knew it'd be the last time that I'd see your face, I'd tape each word in action and play it back throughout my days. If I knew it'd be the last time, I'd tuck you in at night. I'd hug and kiss you more tightly. Something along those lines. Basically, I would tell you I love you. I would tell you I'm sorry. I would tell you that I care. I wouldn't hold it back anymore, because now I don't feel like I can even say it because you're gone. Which, granted, I don't believe in that either, because I talk to the people that are gone every day. But at the same time, they're not here physically anymore. So if people that are in your life right now were gone tomorrow, how would you feel about that, and what would you wish that you would have said? What would you wish that you would have done differently? And not what you wish they would have done differently, or not what you wish you could have controlled in them, but what do you wish you would have done? Take those actions without worrying about what's coming back to you, without worrying about whether or not they're going to reciprocate, without worrying about whether or not it's going to come to something. Take those actions because it fulfills you, and it makes you feel good, and it allows you to be able to have that release and that closure if it's necessary. We have the eye of protection, so you're definitely protected. And we have this watermelon. And there's seeds in this watermelon. You know, most watermelons are seedless these days. They taste so much different than the seeded watermelons did too. Watermelons have really lost a lot of flavor over the years. Sometimes we change things in a way that really doesn't make them better. This is kind of leading me back to earlier in this video where it was talking about the way that you were doing things in the past was not wrong, but you allowed other people to make you feel like it was. So maybe you were giving somebody time, maybe you were being patient, maybe you were being understanding and compassionate, and then you just decided, I'm sick of wasting my life because this is bullshit. But maybe that unconditional love was a good thing too, for some of you anyway. Every rose has its thorn, and he who wants the rose must respect the thorns. Every rose has its thorns, just like every cowboy has a sad, sad song. Kissed by the rose on the grave. Considering we were just talking about death, and I've been kissed by the rose on the grave. Your communication is going to bring a lot of inspiration to others, and it's very protected at this time. Communicate from your heart. Put your words out there, put your wisdom out there, put the things that you have to say out there, and then give it time. And just let it sit. Let those seeds that you have planted generate or gestate and grow. It takes time for every seed that we plant to be able to grow, to be able to prosper, to be able to become a steady, strong, and stable force. The paths that we choose sometimes take time to catch up with us. So in between messages, if anybody wants to be able to purchase a question or donate to the channel, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wishlist all in the description box below. And I really appreciate anybody who does those things. It really does help me out more than you guys know. And I'm very grateful for that. So let's see what else they want me to discuss with you guys today. Right now it's time to focus on you and your goals. We are on our own journeys, and we both know deep down that this is necessary. We have a lot to learn to align ourselves to a more unconditional form of love. and to also find and reveal our highest power. When we are strong on our own, we will be stronger together. When you're not strong on your own, you end up in codependency. And both people are in codependency when you're in a codependent relationship. Both people are. No matter how much anybody wants to tell you that only one of them is, you can't have one without the other. Both have to be codependent if you're both participating in a codependent relationship. If you're both participating in a toxic relationship, it's toxic for both parties. When you both learn how to stand strong on your own and to not be looking to fill that void from somewhere external outside of yourself, but you're able to feel at peace and calm with yourself and your own emotions, you're able to take care of you, you're able to love you, you're able to really respect yourself and set your boundaries and do things that are healthy for you and not accept in things that are unhealthy for you that you don't want to be a part of, and not be doing those things, but feeling like you're good if you're on your own and you don't have to have any friends around you if those friends aren't healthy for you. You don't have to have this job if this job isn't healthy for you. You don't have to have this partnership if this partnership isn't healthy for you. When you're strong on your own and you're not feeling like you need anyone, but you want to have someone in your life just because you want to share that life, not because you have some sort of need for them, whether it's conscious or subconscious, it creates that codependency. Then you can be in an interdependent connection where both parties are free. Both parties are solid, both parties are secure, confident, stable. Both parties are respected, both parties are trusted, and both parties are loved. Love is not the only thing you need in a relationship. You also have to have respect. You have to have trust. You have to have healthy boundaries. You have to have the ability to be forgiving, understanding, compassionate, patient. But you also have to be able to put your foot down when somebody's treating you in a way that is not okay. And to be forgiving at the end of the day, as long as they're not going to be doing that again. And if they are, then you have to be okay with walking away from that and never seeing them again, and the possibility of that not being earth-shattering. Take the time to study and learn about things that you enjoy. The more that you dive in and explore, the more wisdom that you gain. Believe that you can achieve the things that you desire. Focus on yourself at this time and in creating and in increasing your abilities. So, it may be time right now for you to focus on you and your goals, increasing your skills, your abilities, your gifts, increasing your confidence, your self-esteem, your stability, your strength, increasing your ability to be able to feel confident in making it through things without somebody holding your hand. And vice versa, whoever it is that you're going to be coming into union with, whether it's past or future, doesn't matter. What matters is that this person's working on those things too, which may be why you aren't coming into union yet, because it's just not time yet. And divine timing can sometimes suck, and it seems like it's taking forever, and it's really hard to deal with, and it really just sucks. But at the same time, it's best to accept it and to realize that there's a reason for it and to be okay with that. And to continue working on you, even if you already think that you're in a place that's good enough already. Because you may not see the bigger picture that your guides see. You may not see the path ahead, but there's a reason for that. There is a deep desire within. There is a deep desire within you to do the right thing. You are someone who thinks outside of the box, and you perceive things in a very different way. You may be sabotaging yourself through rigidity in some sort of way. So it might be time to be more adaptable, more flexible, more giving. It might be time to get in touch with that feminine side of yourself a bit more, without feeling like that's somehow going to make you weaker. Remember, boundaries are good, but so is flexibility, adaptability, and the ability to compromise as well. There may be someone jealous over the time and attention that you are placing on someone else at this time. Possibly an ex-lover, could even be a child, could be a family member. But you have all the skills and tools necessary to communicate effectively. If you don't, start delving into researching some of that, because you can find out how to communicate effectively through research. You have the ability to communicate effectively to bring out the best outcome for everyone in this situation in a positive way. So believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and communicate through love, compassion, honesty, patience. Allow yourself to open up. And don't get so stuck on having to play your cards close to your chest, because sometimes playing your cards close to your chest is actually what's destroying everything around you, because of that fear and paranoia energy that keeps you from expressing what you most want to say in a situation, or what you most want to do in a situation. Growth, fertility, abundance, new passion for life, which actually just came out a bit ago. I love when I do these collective readings like this, because really it does seem to keep the same steady concept and ideas going through the entire reading. The same topics are readdressed and given new meaning throughout the entire thing, and it's just really, I like that. Anyway, it's time to clearly see. It's time to take the mask off. It's time to take the glasses off of yourself and of others. It's time to look in the mirror and reflect. And it's time to really start to make out the shapes that are going on, the designs that are going on. It's time to start connecting the dots. Kind of like when you're cloud watching and you start seeing all the different shapes in the clouds and the different things going on there. That really brings a lot of peace as well. So, taking some time to just stare at the clouds today may actually bring you a lot more peace than you realize. It's also time to see that that giant mountain that was in front of you before has become this small little tiny hill, and you have conquered it. You've learned a lot. You've grown a lot. You've overcome a lot of challenges. You have made your way around, through, over whatever obstacles that have been thrown at you. You really have been very successful on this journey, and more success is coming. There's a lot of abundance coming. We have to make it down the other side of the mountain first. But once you get down that other side of the mountain, there's a lot of fertility, a lot of growth, a lot of abundance, new passions, new life. There's just going to be a lot of joy going on for you. Once you take all those lessons you learned along the way and you put them into use, going back down the other side of that mountain, that's when you start to see the changes that have been made in yourself and the world around you because of this journey that you've been on, and how much success is coming into your life for the hard work, dedication, commitment, faith, persistence, trust, and discipline that you've been able to keep and maintain along the way. And that doesn't mean you didn't throw fits once in a while. That doesn't mean you didn't get upset. That doesn't mean you didn't yell at them because you're upset that, why does everything have to be this way? Why do you keep punishing me? Why aren't you here to protect me? And all that kind of stuff. That happens. That happens on this journey. Don't be upset with yourself because of that. But then again, when other people say that stuff to you, are you upset at them? Are you judgmental of them? Because if you're judgmental of yourself for that, you might want to look at that and examine that. Because you could be reacting the same way to other people when they get upset and frustrated in hard situations. When they were looking for somebody to have patience and stability for them. The same way that you were looking for somebody to have patience and stability for you when you were upset or hurt or feeling like everything was falling apart. And sometimes we have to go through all of these things so that we can see that from another viewpoint and another perspective and understand what was needed in those situations. Kind of like, say you have a child and they spill their drink and they start freaking out and apologizing, or they start throwing a fit and slamming everything around, or whatever the case may be. First off, they're learning from their parents. Second off, what can you do in that moment that can help that situation? Is screaming and yelling and getting upset going to help that situation? No, because it's going to make them even more timid and more apologizing. or it's going to make them scream, yell, and throw fits more. What can help that situation is to calmly go, it's okay. It was just an accident. This happens to everybody. We'll get it cleaned up and everything will be all right. And then when they face hard situations in their life, they'll remember that and they'll go, it's okay. It's just an accident. We'll get it all cleaned up and everything will be okay. Instead of making it worse by throwing all that anger at it or all that aggression. Air Guardian, shift your perception. Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. So it's really time to start seeing things in a different light, to start shifting your perceptions, to start looking back on some of the things that have happened now that the triggers have been healed, and examining them and seeing them in a new light, understanding them in a different way. It's also time to start looking inside of yourself and seeing where you may actually have a lot more strength or patience or skills than you ever gave yourself credit for, than you ever recognized or acknowledged. Hi, Aries Void. Nice to see you again. You know what's funny about your name, too? We actually had the Sage card come out earlier as well, so you're definitely, I feel like you're definitely meant to be here today. So, it's time to really unlock that magic within you because you're the only one that can. Nobody outside of you can unlock that. Only you can. Trust in the magic because you may be fearing the gifts that you have, the skills that you have, or you may be fearing that they may not work or they may not be as strong as they could be. The only way they get stronger is by using them, by exercising them, by acknowledging them, by learning more about them, by really believing in them and trusting in them. Crows could be a very important thing for you as well. I actually had, for a couple months, year before last, there was like 50 crows following me one day. But there was literally giant groups of crows that I kept running across for like 3 months straight. Crows, for one thing, crows do actually talk as well. They are very, very intelligent. They also remember what people do for them. And they have a tendency to go back and bring presents to people who have treated them good. They'll bring little trinkets or little whatever they found that they think is cool or that they think is something that you would like. They will actually bring back to you and give to you for your kindnesses towards them. Your kindnesses will be seen, recognized, appreciated, and reciprocated. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Also, remember to acknowledge, reciprocate, recognize other people for the kindnesses that they have done for you, and to return those favors as well. There shouldn't be any strings attached when you're doing anything for anyone, or vice versa when they're doing anything for you. But it is always nice when somebody lets us know how much we meant in their world, and the things that we did that really did bring a light to their life. Everybody enjoys hearing those things sometimes, being reminded of those things sometimes. You may be being reminded of this in the near future, or you may be reminding somebody else of this. Nurture all that you love. If you love someone, say it. Show it. Feel it. Don't cower away from it. Don't hide from it in fear. Don't allow it to control you. Don't try to control it. But give. And be open to receiving back in return. Be vigilant. Make sure that you are committed, disciplined, that you are really ready and solid and feeling good in what you're doing. Allow yourself to face your fears head on, to stand up to them. Allow those fears to give rise to the faith and the courage inside of you, to the belief that you can face anything, and to the belief that there are worse things in this world than dying. Because there are a lot worse things in this world than dying. There's a lot worse things in this world than being rejected. There's a lot worse things in this world than your love not being reciprocated. There really is. And those things do hurt. All of those things hurt. But there are worse things in this world than any of those things. Like never expressing those things, never putting in that work, never doing your part, never really allowing yourself to let go and just have that moment. Because then you spend the rest of your life with regret eating you up inside over what if I would have done that? What if I would have acted when I felt like I should? What if I would have been giving? What if I would have been open to receiving? What if I would have been able to express myself in my heart without fear or worry or doubt? And that's where you end up with those doors behind you that you're holding on to instead of closing too. It's because of emotions like that. Instead of belief that the new door's right in front of us and we can open it anytime we want to, as long as we aren't afraid to walk through it. So between messages, if anybody wanted to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list in the description box below. And I truly appreciate all of you who do any of those things. It really does help me out, and I thank you guys so much for that. So we're going to do one more closeout message. And if anybody ends up ordering a question before then, we'll do that. And then we're going to be done for the day because my phone is getting really close to dead, and by the time I'm done with this message, it's probably going to be pretty close to 2 hours anyway. So, let's see. My ex caused me to feel as if I was nothing, although those feelings were already present inside of me. Those were not feelings that that person could create. Those were feelings that trauma had created and left dormant until that person triggered them. As if I was alone and no one would care for me or help. Gaslighting and manipulation was used against me to distort my vision of who I am. I may have stepped into a victimhood mentality for a little bit, but now it's time to pull my power back. And it's time to realize that the decisions I'm making affect things too. And even if I'm feeling that way, I could still choose to walk away at any time. I miss our time together. I used to love so much to play with you, to chase toys, your hands, flashlights, rope wars. I miss your belly rubs and how you always scratched the perfect spots, especially that one right under my butt. Know that I'll always watch over you as good as you did for me. I love you. So, thank you very much, Rashima. You're very appreciated, too. I really do appreciate you and your support. You are so shocking. You are bold and fiery. I feel hot every time that I am near you. Do you feel it, too? Maybe one of us should get some balls and make that move. Who knows? This could be something amazing. We need to leave expectations for good or bad to come at the door and get to know each other better. Easier said than done, though. Every time you're near me, I feel like a schoolboy or schoolgirl. So anxious, butterflies, and loud, hard heartbeat as well. Maybe at some point we will be ready for the next step. I hope that it helps you to know that I feel this too, instead of wondering. If you make the first move, don't give up too easily because I'm a bit shy. Plus, I love the friendship that we have and I don't want to destroy that. It would be so hard for me to put that in jeopardy. So, you're welcome as well. And thank you. So, there, like I was saying, this goes way back to the beginning of this reading. There could definitely be a situation in your life that you're getting ready to walk through the door on, and you may be very afraid, nervous, timid, anxious, worried. Don't obsess over it. Don't stress over it. Don't overthink on it. Don't watch 50 tarot readings on how they feel about you. Take care of your stuff when you're on your own. And when you're around each other, live in the moment and enjoy yourselves. Ask them on a date. See where it goes. Don't worry about where it's going. If it's meant to be, it will be. If it isn't, then it won't be. But what you can do is have a much healthier interaction with somebody. What you can do is save a friendship by not turning it into something extremely toxic by placing so many expectations on it or so many worries on it or so much of your heart into it that you feel like your whole heart was ripped out by them not reciprocating it. And you know what? That happens sometimes, but that doesn't mean that we have to lose the love we have for people over it either. I love you still, but I choose me. I do not have hate in my heart for you. The times I have are far too few. Anger at times usually too fleeting to mention. Forgiveness is always my deepest intention. Not just because hate poisons the heart. Also because I know that I had a part. Maybe I should have told you. I know that maybe I should have told you that I knew. I expected you'd come clean as time flew. Then I realized you would never stop as long as you had a way out to cop. As long as I continued to tell you all, you saw fit to make it your call. Had strangers thinking they knew me, judging me, exactly what did they see? Not my story that I had told, but the ramblings of someone far too bold. I know for sure no one is perfect, but I shouldn't have had to suspect. Fighting with my intuition that was always right, not wanting to walk away from you, I would fight. Self-love and respect guides my actions now. I must lead the way to show you how. I hope you learn the same lesson in your own time. Understand how to make amends for your crime. Love yourself and let yourself shine. Trust me, I always think of you as mine. I'd fight for you the same as my own kids. Disloyalty to you, my heart forbids. I hope one day the same is returned. Until then, this bridge is burned. So, for some, this could definitely be a past situation that maybe a friendship is being rebuilt in at this point, and that everybody is learning and growing from the ways that they behaved in the past, taking their own responsibility. And maybe you've already done that, and maybe you're waiting for other people to follow suit. There's no point in waiting. Live your life. If they ever choose to, they choose to. But you shouldn't stop living simply because somebody else is choosing to live in the past. Because that means you're choosing to live in the past too. You may feel very alone right now. Remember that you are never alone. That's been a repeated concept in this reading too. You may not have many people around you right now. Enjoy it because it won't last forever. Use this time for you to the best of your ability. Know that you will be feeling good for when you don't have as much time for you. Get some things done that you haven't had time and energy for in the past. Get a massage, take an extra long hot shower or a bath, go for an extra walk, do some extra art, watch a new movie, read a good book, build that furniture you've been wanting to build. Whatever it is that you've been wanting to do that you felt like, oh, I never have any time, I never have any time, I never have any time. And now you have all this time and you're like, oh, I don't want all this time. What am I going to do? I need something to do. Do all the things that you wanted to do when you thought you didn't have the time. Now you have the time, so do them. Do things to build you up. Do things to feel good about yourself, to increase your knowledge, to increase your skills, your abilities. A love that's true. I deserve a love that's true, no longer feeling blue. My soul longs for someone real, one who has the nuts to seal the deal. Which is funny because we were just talking about one of us should have big enough balls to make that first move. Ready for someone to step up. I've learned how to fill my own cup. So many things left unsaid, all the tears that have been shed. No more sitting on a shelf, time to truly love myself. Claiming abundance that rains down on me, prayers are answered for all to see. And loving yourself doesn't just mean I don't chase, I attract. Yeah, there's a difference between I don't chase, I attract than there is from running from people and having them chase you. When it's an equal give and take, that means both people are moving towards each other. Both people are opening up. Both people are giving it a chance. If one person is running and one person is chasing, it doesn't matter if you're the one running or you're the one chasing. It's not very healthy for either party. The one running is in their ego and feeling so good because everybody's running after them. Has too much pride to turn around and say, hey, I'd like to do something here too. Too much fear. The one chasing really isn't loving themselves either, because they're running after somebody who's ghosting them, breadcrumbing them, or who's just not paying any attention to them. They're giving their all into that and putting their heart into somebody who is literally putting it into a void. Oh, what song is that? Wanna put my tender heart in a blender, watch it spin round to a beautiful oblivion. Rendezvous and I'm through with you. Those situations usually don't end good. When there's a little bit of running on this side and a little bit of chasing on this side, and then there's a little bit of running on this side and a little bit of chasing on this side, that's not bad. Because then both people are putting in effort, both people are putting in time, both people are putting in energy, and nobody's giving too much, nobody's taking too much. It's an equal give and take. It's something where you move, I move, instead of you move, I run away, or I move, you run away. A new pet may enter your life soon. There could definitely be a lot going on with pets too today, because there's like 4 messages that came out that have to do with pets. A new pet may enter your life soon. It could also be a new friend. This will be the blessing that you need to light you up again in your life. Get out more, have fun, explore, and enjoy yourself more. You have worked so hard. You have earned your fun time. You might even find a new hobby or life passion with this change. Friend or frenemy. Most likely the same sex. Say bitch, Snow the product, Sugar Honey Iced Tea, Nokia, Quintana, Nokia. Could possibly have jumped you or wanted to. Afraid of your power. Jealous that you do what you want to do regardless of the opinions of others. Your beauty is so great. It's not just surface deep either. When I look into the mirror, I'm disgusted by what I see. That isn't surface deep either. What I have done is unforgivable, but I just can't seem to stop myself. I am so jealous of all of the attention that you get. There could definitely be an ex here as well that was very manipulative, controlling, gaslighting, possessive, financial abuse. There's been different things throughout the reading that discuss this, and they may actually be very jealous of the new situations that you're getting into, the healthier way that you're living, things like that. But I just can't seem to stop myself. I'm so jealous of the attention that you get, and I want it for myself. But I know as long as I am filled with hatred for myself and for others, I will never have it. How do you do it? I know that you haven't had it easy either. I know that you have been in my shoes before, but I can't imagine you ever acting as I have. How will I ever forgive myself? Somebody could be having a very hard time forgiving themselves, having a lot of self-hatred. Thank you very much, Aries the Void. That really is very appreciated. I really appreciate you saying that, and you are very appreciated as well. I appreciate the support that you bring in when you come and watch my readings. I tell myself I'm going to stop spreading rumors and lies, but it's like I'm watching myself from the outside and I'm unable to stop it. My pain has a life of its own. My mental illnesses don't help either. I use every excuse as a crutch to not change, because a mental illness is an excuse. It's a crutch. It's something that they can blame for their actions, just like they can blame alcohol, they can blame drugs, they can blame the way they were raised. But you know what? The way I was raised wasn't that great either. And I'm still not running around doing that shit to people. I need to work on myself instead of constantly looking at everyone else for a place to shift the blame. Knows you and everyone that you know. You are building, growing, and improving your life, and they can't stand it. They can't stand that you have the things that you have, the stability and the beauty inside of yourself, because they don't, and they aren't willing to work for it. And they don't even want to acknowledge the fact that you have worked for it. that it's not something that's just handed to you. It's something that you have worked very hard to cultivate in your life. I explained that to somebody recently who was trying to say, I wish I had the same gifts as you did because I just can't seem to. No, it's not about my gifts. I have worked my fucking ass off throughout my entire life to heal the things that I have been through. Because I wanted to be able to heal myself and I wanted to be able to help others to heal. I had a massive purpose, drive, motivation. I did it. And even on the days where I wasn't motivated, I made myself be motivated. I chose this path. As much as this path was chosen for me, I chose it. I didn't have to choose it. Not everybody chooses it. Not everybody chooses to rise up to the destiny they have in front of them. But I did choose it. And I worked my ass off for it. So I don't like it being attributed to, oh, it's just because of my gifts. Oh, it's just because of luck. Oh, it's just because you had a silver spoon in your life. Oh, sure I did. While we were living in so much poverty that we didn't have power a lot of times. I don't have power now. But, you know, that's the whole thing. People want to sit there and see that you have an easy life, but they don't know your fucking life. Just like when you're on the outside looking in, they tell you the grass isn't always greener on the other side for a reason. You might be looking at somebody's life thinking that they have the best life, the most abundant life. Why are they getting such good things when they did me so dirty? You don't know what's going on behind that closed door. For all you know, their whole world could be burning down around them and the house collapsing on their fucking head. We don't know that. Just like these people that are really jealous of you do not understand that about your life, that you have your own set of problems too going on, and everything isn't just perfect in your life any more than it is in their life. No life is perfect. And if it looks perfect from the outside, usually there is far more decay underneath the surface. I learned that very young in my life, that there's far more decay underneath the surface in a place that looks perfect usually than there is in a place that looks like hell. A place that looks like hell, you know what to expect and you see everything clearly around you. But when it looks like heaven, a lot of times it sure as fuck isn't. That's where I was molested, in a place that looked like heaven. So, you know, that's what happens sometimes. Care for your, there has to be light and dark in a place. And if you can't see the dark, then it's hidden. And if all you can see is dark, then the light's right there too. But you have to look for it because it's hidden. Care for yourself as you do for others and nurture you. It's a hard lesson to learn, but it's very worth it, Rashima. This is a beautiful picture that my daughter drew for me, of me. She's getting really good at drawing little tiny portraits of people. I really like it. She even did my glasses pretty good. And for how small my lips are, those are really good. Care for yourself as you do for others. Nurture you. Because you may not be feeling all the love that others have for you at times. If you're not, take time out for you and focus on you. Get yourself feeling good again so that you can see those things from outside of yourself. Someone new is coming in for you. Enjoy life more, live a little, take some risks for once. No more hiding from the spotlight. You shine so bright, never hide that energy. When you shine fully, you will attract someone who shines just as bright as you. But it requires you to take off every mask, even that last one that guards your vulnerable heart. Like we were talking about earlier, if I'm shining, everybody gonna shine. I was born like this, don't even gotta try. You don't even gotta try when you're being you. If you're trying, you're doing too much. It's time to surrender and just allow and just be, and to be okay with that. To be okay with the fact that you don't have to do to be worth something. You just have to be, because you are worth something. So that is what I have for today's reading, and I really do thank you all for being here, for all your support, for all the love you send, and any donations that have been sent. I really appreciate all of you guys. And if anybody would like to do that, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list all in the description box below. My P.O. box is also down there as well. Somebody asked recently for that, so I put that on there too. And I really appreciate all of you guys, and I hope you have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.